Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to a sombre edition of Oval and Out here on the Kia Oval outfield at 5:18 p.m, which is relevant, and we'll talk about that in a minute. The fact we're here doing a post-match podcast at 5:18. My name is John Surtees. I am with Cameron Ponsonby.
Hello.
Garen's been commentating on the game today live on the Surrey YouTube channel. Before we get into it, let's look at the numbers. Sometimes, Cameron, this takes a while to go through the numbers on a big day where there's been lots of cricket played, lots of interesting innings, lots of narratives, lots of storylines. Today, Surrey bowled Durham out in the morning. They took a slightly, a minute or two to take their final wicket, bottom up 362. Durham then batted for the remainder of the day. 262 for no wicket. Emilio Gay, 156 from 172 balls. Alex Lees reaching his century with the final stroke and anger of the day, 100 not out off 162 balls. The game was drawn. Surrey one very positive of this game with a maximum suite of bonus points, and Durham with slightly fewer. There's a few things of interest to talk about, Cameron. It hasn't been the county championship at its finest today. I don't think that's the fault of any of the players. I think the players played as hard as they did, played as hard as they could, did as well as they could. I don't think this is the best day of county championship cricket that anyone has ever seen, and I think it's foolish to pretend that it was. But what is your first take on today's proceedings?
Well, this time yesterday, I was really optimistic we were going to see something historic, see something special. And then, despite what it looks like behind us, this morning it was raining. It was great. It was overcast. We actually lost an hour of play. And that was a really important hour that didn't happen. Because, in effect, what Surrey needs to do is bowl out Durham quickly. And then they'd have 2 new balls at Durham the second time round. If they had, say, took 6 overs to bowl them out and take the final wicket this morning, they'd have had 90 overs. So they'd have had 80 overs, then plus a little burst of 10 at the end. As a result of losing the time, they only had 1 new ball, which meant that Alex Lees and Amelia Gay had to negotiate 1 new ball spell, and once they got through that, they were pretty much home, and negotiate it they did. They were still there at the end of the day, both with hundreds to their name. They batted well, fair play.
Yeah, so for those of you that tuned in last night, Cameron and I did 8 minutes on what was a really good day of cricket yesterday, and I ended the podcast by saying that we didn't mention the Kookaburra ball once. I think we're going to need to mention it today, Cameron. You obviously referenced it there in terms of losing those overs, in terms of losing the ability to take that second new ball. Surrey bowled well today. I don't think Surrey bowled badly. Fair play, Emilio Gay batted particularly well. Alex Lees as well. He's got 200s in a first-class game. That's not an opinion. That's many very fine cricketers will go through a very fine career and never achieve that. So I don't think you can argue against either of that. But we're lucky enough here, those of us that work on the Surrey YouTube broadcast, to be friends with a guy called Andrew Sampson, who is the South African global oracle of cricket stats, and we've put him to work a bit today. And shout out to Surrey legend Alistair Brown here, who suggested this as he was interested looking around the scores. He said, what is, Cameron, the highest number of individual centuries ever recorded in a round of county championship matches? So we got Samo to work on that, and Samo said the most hundreds in a championship round was 28, which is in matches starting on the 18th of April 2007 until last week, when it was equalled. Emilio Gay is the 29th 100 of this week. That has broken the record. Since Emilio Gay scored 100, Ben Brown has gone to 100 for Hampshire, and Alex Lees, as we just said, has gone to 100 for Durham. So we're up to 31. As we record this podcast now at 5:22, the round is still ongoing. That number could still go higher. But I mean, it's not an ideal stat, is it?
It's not an ideal stat, but I'm really interested to know whether this will be seen as a reason to stop the Kookaburra experiments, or why the Kookaburra experiment is necessary. Because Ben Stokes was asked about this in his pre-match press conference. At the moment, the Edgbaston test is ongoing, and when he was asked about it, he's saying, Durham conceded 800. He went, I did see that. He went, whenever I see scores like that, I kind of think there's still ways to get good players out, basically. And the whole reason we're doing this is because the ECB high performance review from following the 21-22 Ashes basically said we don't have the high-skilled seamers that are able to operate in the 80-mile-an-hour region and are able to take wickets without the assistance of the Duke's ball. Now, is it a case that, everyone struggled, including the overseas players, and maybe the English wickets just aren't suited to the Kookaburra, so we gave it a go, but let's consign this to history? Or will the ECB go, actually, the fact that so many runs are being scored is kind of proving the point that we are trying to make, that we don't have a back catalogue of bowlers who are capable of taking wickets when the conditions aren't in their favour. I think that's going to be interesting to see which side of the ledger that argument falls.
We will see, and an official club channel probably isn't the ideal place to continue this discussion. So we'll call it quits with that discussion there. Save for one more thing, which is just to quote Alex Stewart, former director of cricket here now, high performance advisor and still one of the great Surrey cricket brains in history, who says that in his opinion the Duke's ball makes an average bowler look better, the Kookaburra ball makes an average batter look a lot better. And I think people who know a lot about cricket understand where he's coming from with that. Other points of note today is that there was a draw in Taunton between Somerset and Nottinghamshire. Somerset showed some great backbone there. Tom Kohler-Cadmore with a big century, got a bit of support there down the order as well. Tom Abel faced a lot of balls. So that's been a draw. Nottinghamshire missed out on the full suite of bonus points there. Surrey obviously got the full suite here by scoring very quickly, as we said, 200 runs a session on day 2, made sure they raced to that 450. And then apologies, missed out on one bowling point, I think, towards the end. But still, that is enough to put Surrey top of the table by 1 point. The championship breaks again now for T20. T20 coming up here at the Kia Oval Sunday afternoon, and then onwards for a couple of weeks there of T20 action before Surrey back in red ball action. Trip to Scarborough, followed by a trip to play this week's opponents, Durham, in Chester Street. So, it's only 1 point, and it was achieved in a taxing way in what has been a really tough game of cricket. But Cameron, it must be it's always nice to when it says you look at the top of the table, it says number 1 to see your name next to it.
Top of the table. I mean, we can all kind of talk about how this round feels a little bit redundant because, there's the Kookaburra drama and XYZ. It's still points, and points mean prizes. And now, for the first time this season, Surrey are back ahead of Nottinghamshire, and it's all building brilliantly to that fixture in September when Nottinghamshire are going to come down here and what could be a title decider.
Yeah, absolutely. That will be a huge game. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a huge game. We normally have some questions. I don't think we need to do the questions today. Cameron, I think player of the day, moment of the day. Cameron, what gave you joy today? Let's do that one. What gave you joy today?
What gave me joy? I'll go player of the day. I'll go really quickly. That's a joint award between Alex Lees and Emilio Gay. They've saved the game for their team. Has to be them.
Gotta happen.
What gave me joy? Sam Curran, left arm tweakers. He has bowled them for Surrey before, but I just liked seeing them again. It was exciting. It was different.
They were good.
Yeah.
They were good ones.
yeah, they were good. He's a very talented cricketer.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd still bowl these ones if I was him, but it's fine.
2 long days in the field for Sammy. I think we can forgive him a little bit of that. Something to talk about. I think we've talked about something to talk about. We've talked about the table. We've talked about the ball. We've talked about Samo's amazing suite of stats. Next time we're here, Cameron, you're going to be here. It's going to be Sunday afternoon. It's going to be the Kia Oval. It's going to be a T20. It's going to be a T20 double header. Surrey women have had a long break. Yep. They're back in action in the afternoon. Lunchtime. Men's team back in action at 4:30. Hi, Louis. Why should you call? Why should you call? Why should you tune in? Why should you come down? How good is Sunday going to be?
Surrey women can't stop winning. They're 8 wins from 9, maybe 7 from 8. Forgive me, but it's only 1 loss out of everything. They're on a roll. Come down and watch them. They're the form team in the country. And then Adam Zampa is going to be making his debut for the men's team on Sunday. Hopefully the sun's still going to be out. It's a Sunday afternoon. Come and watch some cricket. It'll be perfect.
That's brilliant, Cam. My name's John Surtees. This is Cameron Ponsonby. I'm off to see Jurassic Park. Over and out.